afternoon, hello and welcome to the Whisky Comedian podcast. Today we're back on the balcony of the Austral Hotel in Adelaide at the Adelaide Fringe 2012, and I've been joined today by two of the superstars of the Edinburgh Fringe who came out here to Adelaide for the very first time. We have the Scottish Falsetto Sock Puppet Theatre. Hello there!
Well, hello Uncle Alan, how are you doing? How's it? Here we are.
Oh, well, I'm very well. How are you guys? Are you enjoying your time here in Adelaide?
We're having a fantastic time here in Adelaide, yeah, every night in the Garden of Unearthly Delights, which is literally someone's garden. That's where we are every night.
Every night you're in a garden?
Every night in a garden, in a tent in a garden.
In a tent?
It's a bit like being 6 years old. Do you remember we used to camp out in the garden? Then you'd wake up and it was raining outside? I think that was just us. That was probably just us. Well, that's what we're doing every night in Adelaide. It's great fun.
Although it doesn't rain in Adelaide, it's sunny, sunny, sunny.
We also don't sleep in the tent. That would just be weird.
You don't sleep in the tent, so where do you sleep?
We sleep in a bag, wear socks, think it through.
You sleep
every now and again we get the privilege of hanging on a hanger. Oh, the life of luxury.
So this bag that you sleep in, because it's Australia, are you sleeping in a swag bag?
A swag bag? Once a jolly swag man
sat down by a billabong.
Fiddled in his duffel bag. I can't remember quite the lyrics of that, but yeah, it's not a swag bag.
No, is it a Tesco bag? Well, it wouldn't be a Tesco bag because we're here in Australia, but it's one of the bags that you have to pay for at the supermarkets.
It's actually a canvas string bag, nicely aerated. Nicely aerated because one of the things we specialise in is minging. Minging is largely a thing that we do. We ming for Scotland. We ming for Scotland, you'll never smell alike again. That's kind of our claim to fame. Good.
So you're having a good time here. What have you done whilst you've been here in Adelaide?
Well, we've been here, amongst other things, as well as performing our show every night, we've performed in a bandstand, which we've never done before, never performed in the open air, and we got attacked by a whole load of 6-year-old children. Well, they didn't so much attack us as swamped round the stage and shouted things out. Yeah, they shouted out, "We can see your willy," which, can we just point out, is ever so slightly unlikely. Even more unlikely, they shouted out, "We can see your boobs." Yeah, anatomically impossible.
So is this a world exclusive? The socks are female?
The socks are by no stretch of the imagination female. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going home telling tales about us, don't suggest that we had a sex change while in Australia. That is not what happened. We didn't go abroad and come back abroad, no.
No. Okay, right. Well, guys, what we've got for you today is we're going to get you guys to enjoy two of the finest whiskies that we could get. We've got a whisky from Scotland and we've got a whisky from Australia, and it's in honour of you being here at the Adelaide Fringe. We have the Glenkinchie, the Edinburgh whisky, to celebrate the many sell-out shows that you've had in Edinburgh, and then we've got from Australia, we've got the Southern Coast whisky, which is made here in Adelaide. It's made in Hindmarsh by a gentleman called Ian Schmidt. Now,
that's one of those Scots names that you can never quite trace the derivation of.
No, you can't, yeah.
Are these the Schmidts from Falkirk?
No, I don't think that the Schmidts from Falkirk. We're not sure which clan they're in, but Ian produces some of the finest whisky known to man. Jim Murray's Bible a couple of years back, he gave some of Ian's whisky 96 points out of 100, which is a spectacular score for a whisky. Now, if you've ever drank the tap water here in Adelaide, and socks, I assume you've had a good drink of tap water.
We have had a taste of chlorine washed away with water, yes.
Chlorine washed away with water, yes. The stuff is rank, and the ability to make good whisky out of that is, well, it's a very tricky thing to do, but Ian somehow has managed to make a really good whisky out of Adelaide's tap water. So, we're going to get you to drink the Glenkinchie first.
Fantastic. Could you just move the straws a little bit closer?
Yeah, we need to move the straws.
We don't want to give away any tricks of the trade, but we do need a little help. Okay, so we're having a bit of the Glenkinchie.
Right, the bit of the Glenkinchie, it's the 12-year-old.
That's a little bit more than a sip. I suppose we could have asked him to put a wee bit of water in. Wow, okay. Can we just say, in the hot sun in the middle of the day, don't drink whiskey straight through a straw when it's neat. And if you're coming to see our show tonight, if we don't pop up at any point during the show, don't be the slightest bit surprised. So that's the Glenkinchie, is it? Now,
that's the Glenkinchie from Edinburgh.
That's actually got fruity a genuine sort of citrusy, flowery nose.
Oh, lovely. Oh, it's got a fruity, flowery nose. Right.
At the moment, from where we are, it's a lingering afterburn. I think that's rather based on quantity rather than quality.
Right, what I'd like you to do for me, guys, I'd like you to tell me that Glenkinchie, you guys, you do your show all about TV shows. So
we talk about TV shows, we talk about movies, yeah.
TV shows and movies, right? That Glenkinchie, if that Glenkinchie was a television programme, which television programme would it be and why?
I have to say that Glenkinchie sounds like it's been in the barrel for quite a while, and a lot of history is stored within it. And it comes from Edinburgh, but it reminds us of something from Glasgow that's been around for a long time and contains a lot of history. It reminds us of Still Game.
Still Game!
Still Game would be the one, that'd be the one.
Right!
Which if you've not seen Still Game, we are essentially describing a couple of old men in a council flat. And that wasn't the flattering analogy we were going for. We were going for aged quality. That's what that's called.
Right, so it's aged quality as opposed to old drunks in a council flat. Fantastic,
what
right?
we were not trying to suggest.
Good, right, well we'll move on. We've now got the southern coast from Adelaide. So if we have a good drink of the southern coast.
That's a slightly more of a sip there, and slightly more of a, definitely, we're going for more sweety sweetness. In fact, there wasn't really sweetness in the Glenkinchie, but that's a sweety sweetness.
It's a sweety
I just stuck some Maltesers in there.
Some Maltesers? No, there's not Maltesers in it. I think, to get a bit of honey from it.
Yeah, much more of a sugary sweetness.
Sugary sweetness.
No, by the way, we're not suggesting it's a shandy. Don't, by the way, start drinking this and thinking it's a shandy. It's not a sweet drink, it's not an alcohol, but it definitely has a much more rounded sweetness.
Lovely. So, if that were a movie, which movie would it be and why?
Well, I have to say, because it is a whiskey, but it is an Australian whiskey. In every way it would have to be, and also, yeah, because similarities also with the Irish whiskey, which does have more of a sweetness. I would say we're looking at Braveheart, a film starring an Australian made in Ireland. That's what we're saying. As for the Schmidt component, I don't know, they probably put in the money. They probably put in the money for Braveheart.
Brilliant. So the southern coast from Adelaide is Braveheart, which is Scottish by definition, but starring an Australian and filmed in Ireland because it's got the Irish sweetness and the German money.
We would allow you to paint a saltire on its face and we wouldn't complain. We'd probably come in our millions. We probably would.
Well, that was absolutely brilliant. Guys, you're performing at the Garden of Unearthly Delights.
Every night at 7:45. Come on down.
Every night at 7:45. And what's your plans for Edinburgh, for the Fringe there?
For the Edinburgh Fringe, we have a brand new show. Horror. It is a little bit of horror, yes. A horror film, a horror play starring socks, which we call Boo Lingerie. Boo Lingerie.
Boo Lingerie.
Although it's written Boo Lingerie on the poster. Yeah, I'll have to look at that. It says Boo Lingerie at the moment.
Right, and I'm going to assume that'll be at the Gilded Balloon.
It will be.
And do we know what time yet?
At the moment, we think we're on at 10:40 at night.
10:40 at night,
so
okay.
So it will be dark.
Dark is good. For a horror show, that's perfect. So, to the Scottish Falsetto Sock Puppet Theatre, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your stay here in Adelaide.
Thank you very much, Alan.
I hope you're sober enough for your shows tonight. This has been the Whisky Comedian Podcast, live from the balcony of the Austral Hotel here on Rundle Street in Adelaide during the Adelaide Fringe. If you want to find out more, go to whiskycomedian.com, and we'll see you again next time. To the Socks, thank you. To Adelaide, thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.